Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. Specifically, the marriage of Buttercup and Wesley. That's right, on today's very special 50th episode of Fun Facts with Faith, we will be talking about The Princess Bride. It's a romantic adventure tale full of some of the best lines in cinematic history, in my humble opinion, and if you haven't seen it, we cannot be friends. You don't have to love it the way I do, but you do have to have seen it or you will not get most of my references. The movie was released in September 1987 and was well received by critics, but was only a moderate success at the box office. But this was back in the days when a video release could still make a hit, and so it became a cult classic, and in 2016 made it into the National Film Registry. It stars Cary Elwes, Robin Wright, Mandy Patinkin, Christopher Sarandon, Christopher Guest, Wallace Shawn, who has been that guy in basically every TV show you've ever watched. Like, he is one of the most ubiquitous character actors on television. Andre the Giant, and has cameo appearances by Billy Crystal, Carol Kane, and Mel Smith. Cary Elwes, by the way, wrote a book about his experience filming The Princess Bride. And I happened to see him speak at BookCon right around when it was coming out. And he's a hilarious storyteller. So if you ever get a chance to see him speak, you should. I will not do his stories justice at all. But I thought I would share some of the trivia that I learned from his talk and from other sources about the movie. Moderate spoilers ahead. So the first time that The Princess Bride was being seriously developed for production was in the 70s. And a then unknown Arnold Schwarzenegger was being considered to play Fezzik. Although by the time the movie was actually made, he was too expensive to hire. It would have been a very different film. The role ultimately went to Andre the Giant, and I truly cannot imagine it any other way. He was apparently a total sweetheart. He would just like put his whole hand on Robin Wright's head, and like his hand would cover like her whole forehead and down to the back of her neck. And he would do that on cold filming days to keep her warm. But he had a lot of back problems, so he had surgery right before filming began, and he couldn't support any weight. So there's a couple scenes where he has to wrestle someone, and then he has to carry Robin Wright, and none of that was actually Andre. It was a combination of stunt double and like off-screen supports, like pulleys or ramps, to hold up his co-star's weight, because he could not do it himself. He also had to learn all his lines phonetically. So Rob Reiner made a recording of all his lines for him to learn them. The other thing about him is that he's very big, obviously. But he could not fit into the cars that the production had rented to take the actors to the location set. So they rented him an ATV, and about sources differ. 6 weeks into filming, 6 weeks before filming, at the beginning of filming, at some time fairly early on, Andre convinced Cary to get in the ATV with him and drive it around, and Cary broke his toe. So he had to do pretty much the whole movie with a broken toe. Ow. Mandy Patinkin. I love Inigo. Anyway, Rob Reiner, the director, offered Mandy Patinkin any role he wanted in the movie. And Patinkin chose Inigo because he had lost his own father to cancer, and so he had sort of a deep personal connection to Inigo's motivation, which is to get revenge on the six-fingered man who killed his father. And he has said in interviews that he felt like in that scene when he was confronting the six-fingered man, that he felt like he was confronting his father's cancer. And although Mandy did almost all of his own stunts and fencing, the only bit in the fight scene that is a stunt double is the bit where he like spins around a vine and dismounts. Mandy's only on-set injury was to the muscles on one side of his ribs from trying so hard not to laugh during Billy Crystal's scenes. Billy Crystal, by the way, ad-libbed basically all of his lines, and for like 10 hours a day for 3 days, just came up with off-the-cuff medieval jokes, and reportedly never made the same joke twice. Now, most of them were way too inappropriate to make it into what was supposed to be a family-friendly movie, but the ones that did make it in are still gems, like the mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. On the subject of stunts, the first scene that Robin Wright filmed for the movie was the fire swamp scene where her dress catches on fire. It is done with a real flame and a flame retardant skirt. And everybody knew this. William Goldman, who wrote the book and who adapted the screenplay, was on set that day, and he also knew this, and yet still ruined the take by screaming, "Her dress is on fire," when they rolled. The fire swamp section in general was plagued with complications, so it features the ROUSs, the rodents of unusual size. They are played by men in rat suits, and one of the ROUSs got himself arrested like right before they were supposed to film, so they had to go bail him out from jail so that he could film the scene. And then at the end of the fire swamp sequence, when Christopher Guest is supposed to knock Cary Elwes out, he was trying it and it was not looking convincing, so they were like, well, just, you know, give him a real tap. Don't hit him hard, but give him a real tap, so at least, you know, the timing is right. Except he hit him too hard, and Cary Elwes actually passed out, and that is the take that's in the movie. I am not the only one, by the way, who loves this movie. Reportedly, Rob Reiner once ran into mob boss John Gotti and 6 of his goons outside a New York restaurant, and one of them like recognized him and said, "You killed my father, prepare to die," and then just burst out laughing. Okay, that was my little spiel on The Princess Bride. It is inconceivable to me that people will not have seen this film, but I know there are some of you out there who haven't. So if you want to watch The Princess Bride with me, you know where to find me. All right, bye-bye now. Have fun storming the castle.